Hey everybody, this is Patrick Tumpain and Jeffrey Leslie. We are the co-creators of the two-player game Mystic Monkeys. We are ecstatic to have the game in the physical realm. It is here. We're really overjoyed to be able to play it for you today.
It's alive.
It's alive. There are monkeys and other things. So I wanted to tell you really quickly a brief history of the game, how it came to be, and ultimately it came from this notion of what if you had a board game where on your turn, you're actually moving your opponent's pieces, not your own? And that ultimately led to this concept of mind control. And we wanted it to feel like, when it's your turn, you're actually using mind control to control your opponents. And who better to use mind control in this world than monkeys? And that's where we landed with our Mystic Monkeys. Jeffrey, you want to tell us what we're going to go over today?
So we're going to go ahead and do a component overview, look at all the different pieces, what's in the box. From there, we're going to go flow through setup. How does Mystic Monkeys sort of come to be at the start of a game? Then go through gameplay. And then
I'm going to win that, by the way. Just calling it right now.
At the end, we'll then talk about sort of the two different types of gameplay or ways to play Mystic Monkeys. There's the primitive or the basic version of the game, and then we'll follow it up with an explanation of the advanced play or evolved game type within Mystic Monkeys.
And that highlights the 5 different monkey clans that you see here. And that's a good place as any to start with some of the components, the player aids. So, first things first, when you open the box, there's a whole bunch of stuff that come with it. One of the most important pieces are the monkey clan boards, or a player aid. These are really important, and one of the things we wanted to be able to do when you play the game is not have to reference the rule book a whole lot. Watching this video, having your player aids and perusing the rule book before you play is a great idea, but once you play half a game or finish your first game, you should be able to just use these player aids. And also we will have an FAQ in the rule book and a living FAQ online for specific rules questions that you can interact with. But our artist, Maximilian, did an incredible job with the iconography on these. They match the iconography on the individual tiles for each monkey clan, which we'll give you some close-ups of here in a little bit. So when it's your turn and you're deciding what to do with a tile that you've drawn, you will reference your monkey clan board here, find the appropriate symbol, and then this will explain to you exactly what that action is, and you can decide if you want to take that action or save the tile for later, which you will see during gameplay. So there are 5 different of these player aids, one for each monkey clan, and as Jeffrey mentioned earlier, we do have 2 different versions of the game, and in the advanced game, or the evolved version, each one of these monkey clans has their own special ability as well as an inherent weakness. So we'll walk through all those at the end. The next critical piece of the game that you will have when you unbox it are the 119 game tiles. So if my Vanna White here could show you some of them. Each of these tiles are the same for each team. So there's 23 tiles per monkey clan, and they're all the same barring the artwork, or rather the color for both the backs and the fronts of these different tiles. There are about 11 different actions that you can take that are all dispersed on these tiles. And the cool thing about them, again, we tried to go for a very simplistic design, but the iconography that I mentioned before from the player aid and the artwork above has to do with the action shown on the player aid. The bottom half of every single tile is all about combat. And we'll walk through that a little bit later, but we have very simple iconography for combat as well. And on the back side of the player aid, we actually have a breakdown on how combat works, how it plays out, and what the various symbols mean that are on these tiles. Next really important piece of the game, they're all important, I guess I can stop saying that, are the actual monkey meeples. So these guys are your units that will be placed on the board, and you'll be moving them around, jumping from tree to tree, trying to best your opponent. And if they lose in combat, if they attempt to jump from a tree to a really distant tree and fail, they become captured, they come off the board, and if you lose all of your units, you're probably going to lose the game too. We also have a Mystic Monkeys dice, or die, which is purple, and it has one special symbol in place of the 1. Rolling a 1 in this game is always very bad. If you see this face, you're probably going to have a bad time. So the rest of it is numbered similar to any other dice, but this monkey symbol is unique to the game and plays a big part in moving around the board. It has nothing to do with combat. Next, we have a rule book, which looks remarkably similar to the front of the game box itself. In here, you're going to find all kinds of rules, things that will help you, learn the ins and outs of the jungle beyond what the player aids might show you. The box is absolutely gorgeous. There's artwork on every side. Again, Max, you did a phenomenal job. It feels really nice. You'll get to feel that someday. So big fan of the box. We've got the Mystic Monkeys game board itself, which is nice and very small. It folds like so. It lays very flat, so your tiles will be easy to place and they won't slide around on you. It's got the logo of the game in the middle. But I really like this simple board. It has hexagonal outlines, which tell you where to place all of your tiles at the beginning of the game. So setup is really easy. When we prototype this game and we're designing it, we would just play with our prototype hexes and line them up. And if they ever got bumped or moved around, it could be really difficult to know where they go. But this makes it incredibly easy, user-friendly to play a game of Mystic Monkeys. And then from there, I guess the next thing to do is show you how to set it up.